Welcome back to Furry-Faced Finance, the show where we help young adults get a vision of what their future financial security can be. I'm JR, and today we're doing a review of our retirement options series, so stick around. All right, option number one for retirement that we discussed, and we'll put these links to these episodes in the show notes so you can dig deeper into each of these. But the first option we went through was your traditional retirement option, where you put aside 10%, you start when you're young, in your early 20s, and you keep doing so all the way up until you're 65 or 67, and then you cash out on your retirement, hoping that the money holds out until you pass away. There are some really big benefits, and this is still a very viable option for people. It still works just fine, and it utilizes compounding interest, which can be a lot to wrap your head around, but as long as you know that your money's working for you, that's all you really need to know about compounding interest. It does have the drawback that it takes 40 plus years to accomplish. So there are pros and cons to the traditional retirement program, but it is definitely one of the options you can take, especially as a young adult, one of the options you may want to opt for in your retirement plan. The second option we went through was the FIRE option. FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. It basically takes your traditional investment model of investing for 40 to 45 years and kind of takes those 40 to 45 years and compacts them down into 10 to 15 years. There are some real benefits to this, because obviously if you're retiring within 10 to 15 years, that gives you a lot more years to really enjoy the things you want in life, whether that's working a job that you maybe are more passionate about, or whether that's just spending time with friends and family. It really has a lot of benefits from that perspective. One of the major drawbacks to FIRE is you have to be extremely disciplined about your money. You're going to have to live on very little, because you're not going to be putting away 10% like you would in a traditional model. You're going to be putting away 25, 30, 35, 40%. Some FIRE proponents actually put away up to 75% of their income, and that means you're going to have to find ways to enjoy life in the working time frame of your life that don't cost much or don't cost anything, rather than spending money going out to eat, going to movies, going on vacations, things like that. The third retirement model we discussed was really just FIRE, but it kind of is a hybrid. It's a variation of FIRE. As we talked about, the FIRE concept is taking 40 to 45 years of investing and compressing it down into 10 to 15 years of investing. Well, the traditional FIRE model is to put that investment at the beginning of your life, when you're in your 20s and 30s, and then you retire at age 35 or even 40, and you have the rest of your life. Well, sometimes it makes sense to take those 10 to 15 years of investment time and maybe move them around. For instance, if you have children and want to homeschool your children, and you know that that's going to entail one of you staying home with the kids to do their education, and both of you basically living off of one income, well, you can take that 10 to 15 years of compressed investment time frame and maybe move that to the era of your life after the kids have moved out of the house. Maybe that's the time when you get a second job, or when the instructor in your homeschool gets a second job, and then you have two incomes, and one of them gets put away entirely into retirement, then getting you free in that 10 to 15 year time frame where your retirement is still around age 60 to 65, but you've accomplished the investment portion still in 10 to 15 years. So the fourth retirement model, and we do put that in quotes, the fourth retirement model that we discussed was the non-retirement model. As Michael mentioned in his video, we do not recommend this model of retirement. This is the kind of retirement that people typically just fall into because they don't plan for retirement. However, we have heard people out there talking about planning to just never retire, and because of that, we thought it was important to discuss the pros and cons to planning not to retire. For starters, we discussed the fact that as you get older, you are going to have health issues, and you're going to have to address those if you plan on working until you're dead. So you're going to have to maybe change your career as you move on, as you move up in age. For instance, if you work in a factory, work construction, you're not going to be able to keep that up until you're 80, 85 years old. You may have to transition into writing a blog or Airbnb rentals, or something that allows you to have a more sedentary lifestyle that doesn't require that much aggressive interaction with your career. And so, there is that drawback. There's another drawback that really, frankly, there are some people that I've worked with who have lived a full life, worked until they've passed on, and just continued working, but most people, their health just does not allow for that, which means that you're going to be in a position probably where your health bills are prohibitive. You're going, a lot of people spend more time in health care in their later years, and that is going to just cut down on the number of hours that you're able to work. The final con to planning to not retire is that your options for employment are going to be dramatically reduced. I wish I could say we live in a society where age doesn't matter when you're being employed, and we do live in a society where we're working to try and find a way to make age not matter, but the fact of the matter is employers will get rid of you somehow if they want to get rid of you. And especially in our state, Tennessee is a right-to-work state, they don't even have to have a reason to let me go. They may let me go because I'm not doing my job well enough. They may just let me go because I've gotten too old. So keep those things in mind. And again, I can't reiterate this strongly enough. We do not recommend this. We believe that you can retire. We believe that you can find a way to sock away enough money to have a comfortable lifestyle in retirement. And if you just talk to us, we think we can help you find a path that fits your situation and doesn't entail the idea that you will never retire. So if you guys want to discuss anything we've discussed on this show, maybe get into more depth on that, you can connect with us on Instagram at furryfaced with a D, furryfaced finance, or Snapchat us on Snapchat. That is at furryfaced. You can, if you're interested in seeing a behind-the-scenes look at why we do what we do here at Furry Faced Finance, jump on our Patreon account at patreon.com/furryfacedfinance, all one word, and you can follow us there to get a closer look at why we are so adamant about trying to help young adults gain future financial security.